We would like to welcome everybody to the Shaw University Football Press Conference for today, Wednesday, September 28th. At this time, we're going to give the floor to Coach Jones and let him introduce his two players for today's press conference.
Good afternoon. First, I'd like to introduce Jvonn Hudson, freshman from Charlotte, North Carolina, plays safety for us, and Adrian Jones, also a freshman who plays slot receiver here as well. Any questions?
I guess to start it off, can you give an assessment of last weekend's game against Bowie State? You know, what you saw, what you think your team still needs to work on as you prepare for Elizabeth City State this weekend?
Well, we went back to the basics. We wanted to make sure that we are fundamentally sound. You know, some fundamental problems that we're having. Of course, we're young, but what I did see was a lot of freshmen on the football field getting better each and every week, and that's the key. You know, we brought in 35 freshmen, and we didn't expect they were going to have to play, but they're stepping up in different places. And as you see right now, we have two guys that performed very well last week. The biggest thing we're going to talk about, and we've been talking about all week, is yes, we want to win football games. We do want to win, but what I'm asking our guys to do this week is let's don't even talk about winning. Let's talk about eliminating mistakes. And they know as well, when you eliminate mistakes, you're going to win football games. So that's what we're focusing on, and just making sure that we get better each and every week and try to go out there and get a victory this week.
Coach Jones, how's the team spirit right now? Although we are 0-4 and 0-1 in the conference, we still haven't played our Southern Division team, so at the end of the day, we still have a chance to compete for a CIAA championship. What are you saying to your players right now?
Well, I tell them each and every day that the same thing you're saying. We still have a chance to win. I mean, we're right there. We played a great team in Bowie State. They were in the championship last year. Winston-Salem State was 6-5 last year at the end of the year, and they won the championship. So anything can happen. And our guys, they're in great spirit. They're working hard. We're trying to make sure that we do exactly what we asked them to do. They're out there flying around. We had, like I said, we got a lot more freshmen stepping up in some key areas that want to play football, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to put the best product out there to get us a victory. And I think that I got a good feeling about this week. These guys, you know, Coach, we got your back. We're tired of losing. Of course, I'm tired of losing, but once again, you learn from losing, and we have learned a lot. We've been able to teach our guys and show them what is right and what is wrong. Hopefully we can put it all together and get a victory on the road would be big.
Coach, what's your biggest challenge with this particular group of guys?
The biggest challenge is, like I said, we got 35 freshmen. You know, these guys play high school football, and they're out here. The biggest challenge is getting those guys to adjust to the speed of the game. You know, they know the X's and O's, but adjusting, you know, pretty much the guys that we brought in as freshmen, they were the best players on their football team. Well, when you go to a college or a university, you're pretty much, it's hundreds of those guys that come from different places. So them just learn the speed of the game, making sure they eliminate mental mistakes and just be focused. And at this level, you have to look at a lot more film. So that's our obstacle, is making sure that they watch enough film and dissect the teams that we're playing.
This question is for the players. Jvonn, you had a great game last weekend. You had a career high, 12 total tackles, 10 solo, and Daren, you scored your first career touchdown as a member of the Shaw University football program. Can you just talk about how that made you guys feel? You know, is there any pressure on you guys this weekend heading to Elizabeth City?
Well, I felt great actually. I mean, when you play your tail off, then it pays off. And I don't really feel any pressure for this week because, I mean, the harder you work in practice, the easier it will be when game time comes. So if you work hard in practice throughout the week, then Saturday will come easy.
Yeah, just to feel what he said, the same thing. We just work hard in practice, and it's gonna pay off on Saturday.
Coach, you're going up against, talking about this upcoming weekend, Elizabeth City State. Pretty hard to gauge this team so far this year. They go up to Norfolk State, an FCS school, and only lose by 8. Then get blown out, of course, and then come back with a win against Morehouse. But then again, at Johnson C. Smith, they lose by 3. Doesn't seem to be a lot of consistency. Averaging around 20 points a game. What are some of the things you're seeing? I know they do have a strong 1-2 punch in the running game. What is it that excites you, or without giving up all of your strategy, that gives you hope that this could be the weekend that the Bears get in the win column?
It's just our process, how we're progressing as a football team. But you watch those guys live in the city. They have a very good quarterback.
Right.
He's very elusive. They have a couple good receivers as well. So offensively, they're a little better at passing the ball. So we got to do a good job in the secondary and also putting pressure on the quarterback to get the ball out of his hands. But the biggest thing is we have to worry about what Shaw University does best. We got to make sure that we hone in on our craft and make sure that we do our 111 on the team. We have a lot of times that our players want to do 11 different things instead of doing their 111, and we always preach on that. If you do your 111, then we should make things happen, turnovers happen, and we get the ball back. But the key is, last week we stayed on the football field too long as a defense. There were too many long drives, and defense got to get 3 and out and get the offense back the ball, and we got to sustain drives and protect the ball. So if we do those things in the 3 phases of the game, offense, defense, and special teams. Well, special teams, I think we have stepped up tremendously, special teams, but it's either defense or offense plays well. We need all 3 phases of the game to come together and just continue to believe in the process and just learn from each and every week.
I know there's a stat you probably don't want to look at, but don't make you want to sleep at night. 18% third down conversion rate percentage. I guess you agree you got to do better than that.
Yes. I mean that's a stat that we got to correct. I'm a stat guy, and I look at all that stuff, and I let these guys know about it. And it's a learning process. You don't want to be at the bottom of the league and some things that we are, and we just got to get it corrected. And it's youth, but this youth is what, the 5th game of the season. It's time to them to step up and take over and do what they're asked to do and try to help us win football games. But that stat, yes, I'm smiling at it. That's something that you don't like to hear.
Coach Jones, last weekend we had a lot of injuries to some key players and some key positions. Can you give us an update on Andrew Cash for one, Bruce Parker Jr., Donald Jones, and Daren Downey?
Donald Jones will be out this week. I'm not sure about Bruce Parker quite just yet. There's a possibility he may come back. Daren Downey will be our starting quarterback this week, although Vidal Woodward played a great game. I mean, you're talking about the 3rd string quarterback, freshman. You would have never thought that he was a freshman. He came in and was poised and threw the ball well and did some good things. So, I mean, with that being said, I'm kind of confident, even if Daren is not able to finish the game, we got somebody that can come in and step up. But Daren will be playing, and Andrew Cash will not be playing this week. So some guys, freshmen, sophomores, you name it, going to have to step up. And we always talk about that. You never know when your number's going to be called. You got to be ready at all times. So we're prepared. We got these guys working, and those positions will be filled by other guys.
Jvonn, coming in to start your college career at Shaw, obviously high school ball, college ball are 2 different beasts. What is it that you're seeing at each game that you and the rest of your freshman teammates feel good about? Do y'all talk about what you're seeing out there? What's giving you confidence, hope that as you see this over and over again, the speed of the game, on this level, that this team is maturing, at a right time going into conference play, division play?
Yes, I do. I feel that like every game that each freshman plays, they're getting better and better and better. And like the more that we study our film and the more that we, practice, it slows down for us in the game.
And this is the honest time, I guess, for either one of you guys. Coming into this season, what was the thing that was keeping you up at night before the first game?
Well,
Something that you had always thought about playing in college, playing college football, that you now say, oh, that's nothing.
messing up actually. Yeah. I just didn't want to mess up, because coach is hard on you in practice and throughout camp, and he wants everything to be perfect. And then so now the day before the first game, you're thinking, well, I gotta make sure I do this right, make sure I do this right. You just want everything to be perfect. How coach wants it.
Same thing, just messing up. But if you go 100% and you mess up, coach won't be mad at you.
Is there any one team up to this point that you feel as though you guys can't go toe-to-toe with? Have you been intimidated by anybody?
Not intimidated by anybody. I feel like we can line up against any D1, anybody.
Coach, I know this is your first year here at Shaw. What do you think it's going to take to get the student athletes to learn your culture, the Jones culture, of the way you want things done?
It's like I'm a country boy. My dad used to make us go out and chop wood, and when you chop that wood, the first time you hit that piece of wood, it doesn't always split. You just got to continue the process and continue to preach it till they understand it. And these guys know that every day I'm speaking the same language, I'm speaking the same thing over and over again. We know it's a process. What's ironic, I've been in this situation before. I've been 0-4 before. But also, when we were 0-4, we turned the program around and we ended up being 10-5 and made it to the fourth round of the playoffs. So I know it can be done. You just got to keep preaching it. The coaches got to believe in it. The players got to believe in it. And once you get that one win, I really truly think there's going to be a snowball effect. And once they get a taste of victory, I think it's going to continue to be contagious.
This question is for the players. How do you guys think this can improve outside of what coach has told us here today about position, just individually?
Individually, I feel like after practice, if we work on our craft and make sure we get everything down pat, that it'll affect on Saturdays. Just staying extra, getting some extra work in. Quarterbacks and receivers getting their match, everything.
Individually, as far as getting better, I feel the same way. Staying after practice, getting some extra work in, and then focusing on the little things, such as making sure you get every rep in the weight room, and sometimes staying active to lift a little bit more with your teammates.
Do you guys feel like the leadership that comes from your upperclassmen has any effect on the way things are going?
Honestly, it's yes and no. It's half and half because coach put a lot of freshmen in a position to be leaders. So at the same time, coach has put freshmen in the position to replace maybe some of those older guys who don't speak a lot to be a leader on the field and off the field.
And to piggyback on that, I tell them, we met with a freshman the other day, and like he's saying, there's nothing wrong with a freshman being a leader on the field. He might not be a vocal leader, but if he's leading by example, that's enough. But we also have upperclassmen that are leaders vocally, and we have upperclassmen that are leaders just by what they do in the football field. You have some people that don't talk. You have some people that are very vocal. So it kind of goes hand in hand. And for instance, Jvonn the other day, one of the upperclassmen they weren't late, but he felt like they were late, and he was telling the guys to hurry up. And that's the type of stuff you want. Everybody to hold each other accountable on the football team. And once we keep continuing doing that, things are going to turn around for us.
So would you say this game this weekend is going to be a very important game for a win?
It's very important because it's a conference game. It's not in our division, but it's a conference game. And like I said, we win against Elizabeth City, we know that we got Fayetteville State next week. That is a division game, and I think that will be big for us to win on the road, come back home, continue to have great support from our, our alumni and friends. And I just want to piggyback on that. We really do appreciate the alumni and the fans coming out, regardless of the outcome of the games, helping these guys out and get through the games. They really do appreciate it. I hear them talking about they've never been around a group of fans that, regardless of the outcome of the game, they're still cheering. And you don't know how much that means to the coach and the players, but this is a very big game for us, and I think they're prepared for it. And I've heard it from myself and these guys and other guys outside of the team. Feel like this is the game that we get a breakthrough, and hopefully that's true, that we do that. And I told some of my coaches last week that I don't like water thrown on me, but I'm looking forward to getting some water thrown on me this week. Hopefully that will happen. I might just stand right there and look at them and just say, please throw it on me. But all jokes aside, man, we really are a family. We really love what we're doing, and all across America there's teams that are 0-4. But you got to figure it out. That's what my job is. That's why I took the job, and I'm up for the challenge.
What are the players coach doing as far as discipline with the penalties? How we working on those?
I let one of the guys answer that.
As far as discipline, Sundays after the game, you gotta run.
So we go and we chart and we see how many penalties and mistakes they make, and it's not punishment. It's just, one, we're getting in shape, and two, we're trying to eliminate the mistakes. And the running, kind of, I guess that's their punishment. I don't know, but all across America, you try to figure out things to make them better, and that's what we do. We're just trying to make sure these guys are better football players and do what's right. Any more questions?
Any other questions? Thank you, Coach Jones.
Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
student athletes.
All right.